right, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Jeep. We are going to take a ride together into the unknown. No, sorry. That's sorry, I can't help it. I've got a 2-year-old little girl that watches Frozen 1 or 2 about 2 or 3 times a day, on and off, or it's just always in the background, I should say. So, on my way to our first ever Seraphim Society. Don't worry about me. I've got a backup screen here, and so it's showing me my way up the driveway. But I'm on my way to our first ever Seraphim Society. Seraphim Society is something that came out of my spirit during a message that I actually preached a few months ago. And the Lord had already been speaking to me about doing kind of like a discipleship group, if you will, like something that was more catered to raising up leaders within our local community here at the Homestead, Covington. And so up out of my spirit one night while I was preaching came the idea Seraphim Society, and it's about the burning ones from Isaiah chapter 6. Really the only time that seraphim are mentioned in the Bible. Some believe that you can see these creatures again in Revelation chapter 4, which I can see the connection there. But these are angels that are all flame, burning ones, 6-winged creatures, and it's fascinating. 2, they cover their face, 2, they cover their feet, and with 2, they fly. And their declaration was, holy, holy, holy. The whole earth is filled with the glory of God. And so the idea behind Seraphim Society is that we raise up burning ones that are infatuated with the holiness of God, and as well that they have one perspective, and that is to see the earth filled with the glory of God. And that doesn't mean because in Isaiah's day there was definitely darkness that was all over Israel. That was a time of rebellion. That was a time that Israel had forsaken God. Yet the seraphim didn't see sin or darkness. They said the whole earth is filled with the glory of God. And so I believe we're raising up a company of people here at the Homestead, Covington, that sees the earth filled with the glory of God. And we have been entrusted, because we see the whole earth filled with the glory of God, we're able to shake the temple, bring the hot coals of the finished work of Christ and place them on the lips, and cultivate and host and steward an atmosphere where people can go from woe is me, I'm a sinner, I'm unclean, to here am I, Lord, send me. And that's really what Seraphim Society is. We're raising up leaders that know how to host an atmosphere, host presence, and host an atmosphere where that kind of transformation can take place. So I'm on my way. I'm stirred. I'm sorry that I've taken time away from YouTube, but the reality is we're in the middle of softball season, so I'm a dad first. So my wife and my kids are my priority, and it just so happened that my daughter's games a lot of times fell on nights that I would normally record. So I've not been consistent with that, and I apologize for that. But I've also been cultivating a business, and so I've started Wise Builders Business Community, which is awesome because we're able to teach people how to start online businesses and make an extra $5,000 to $10,000, helping them understand the process of online business, creating digital products, understanding things like sales funnels and email list building and all of those things. And so that's been amazing to build that out. I'm still building that out, but you can actually sign up and be a part of it, the community right now, and get awesome training and teaching every day as I release new content and new teaching. So that's been fun. Coming up on the finish line of the Publish and Prosper Authorpreneur Academy. So I've already launched the 6-week challenge, which has been so helpful. We've been able to help over 30 authors learn the whole how to turn your book into a business framework, which has been amazing. And then this is really cool. I have the whole Authorpreneur Academy, which is taking the 6-week challenge and going into going into great detail for everything that we've covered in the challenge. So there's like 6 keys to turning your book into a business. The challenge, we do an overview, but in Authorpreneur Academy, you get everything in detail. So I'm pretty excited about that, man. I can't wait to make that available to people. But if you join Wise Builders Business Community, you'll actually have access to some of this stuff and be able to have access to those courses as we roll them out. So I would love for you to jump over there and learn with us about online business. Maybe you feel called to write. You're an entrepreneur. You can do that as well. So just really stirred about what the Lord's doing in our church. Well, let me say this. I'm really stirred about what the Lord's doing in my family. I'm really stirred about what the Lord's doing in our kingdom family here in Covington. Really stirred about what the Lord's doing in our business. And we got some exciting things that we're going to announce at some point. But the Lord has blessed us to land a contract where I've got a team of people that are working with me that we're going to empower online creators to monetize their platform. And so at some point, I'll be able to announce that partnership. But we are about to, we have already had our meetings, and we've set up our first contract to partner with an online creator who's already done a fantastic job. But our team's going to get behind them with social media, going to get behind them in creating courses, going to get behind them in all that they're doing, and watch the Lord just equip a bunch of people for things that we believe God is speaking to this generation about. God's promise to Abraham was land and generations. So we're going to get behind anything that's about land and generations. So I can't wait to announce that partnership at some point. But I just want to jump on while I'm driving, catch up with you. Hey, I can even tell you about the Jeep that I'm driving in. Some of you may not know this, but for the past like 2.5 years, Destiny and I have shared a vehicle, and it's been a great vehicle, and we learned to live as a family of 6 with one vehicle. But it was interesting. But a couple of years ago, I had some people that paid our salary and were board members of our church that felt like the Lord was taking them in a new direction, and could no longer provide our salary. And so we had to move. I had to sell my Jeep that I had before, and I felt that was something I knew I had to do if we were going to be able to not be in a strain to make it through that season. And so I really felt like at that time it was just shocking to me. It felt like we were forced out of our house. It felt like we lost our salary, and then ultimately I felt like I was forced to sell my Jeep. And my Jeep is like really the first car purchase I've ever made where it was something that I really wanted for myself. I've always been like, whatever about vehicles, whatever works for our family, whatever's convenient for us, it doesn't really matter. But this was the first time I bought a vehicle where I'm like, I love this vehicle. So I had a Jeep Rubicon Gladiator, so it's a Jeep truck, but I had to sell it during that season. And so maybe I'll go into more detail about this in another video. But basically, we lost our house, lost our salary. When I say lost our house, we were forced to move, lost our salary, and I had to sell my Jeep. And so I was like, okay. But in the past year, well, it's over a year now. No, it'll be a year in June. Oh my gosh, seems like it's been forever. But it's June will be a year. The Lord has helped us recover our house. So we bought a house with property, with land. So our kids are having a blast on that. So the Lord redeemed our house. Within 90 days of us losing our salary, the Lord provided our salary, and our local church was able to pay us a salary to do what the Lord's called us to do here, which is amazing. And then about a month and a half ago, I had to make a trip. I was going to go away for a week to be with other kingdom leaders coming from all over the country there in Mobile. And somebody was supposed to pick me up, drive me to the Under the Oaks gathering. Plans fell through. They had to cancel. So I couldn't leave Destiny without a car. So I'm like, well, I'll just rent something. And the Lord reminded me of a vision I had about a week before, and I saw myself driving to Mobile in my Jeep. And it was just a flash in the pan thought. I honestly hadn't thought about it in a very long time. But I had a vision. Just saw myself driving to Mobile in my Jeep. And I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting. But I just kind of forgot about it. I planned on riding with a friend to Mobile. No big deal. So, anyways, long story short, hold on, let me check something. Okay, never mind. Long story short, I felt like the Lord said, remember the vision. And so I did. And I told my wife, I said, I need to go to the dealership. I'm going to go and look and see if they have my Jeep. So, got my Jeep. And, well, I went to the dealership, I should say. Long story short, I got my Jeep. All right, long story short, I went to the dealership just to look. I saw one that looked identical to the one that I had sold. I'm out there looking at it, and I get up closer to it, and it's really beat up. And I'm like, man, no, that's not what I want. Well, I hear this voice behind me. It says, hey, Reverend. I kind of like turn. I'm like, who's Reverend? Forgetting that, you know, some people call pastors that sometimes. And so I turn around. It's the owner or the manager of the dealership. And he says, Reverend, what are you doing? I said, man, I want my Jeep Rubicon back. I want my Jeep truck back. He said, He said, well, you could not have come at a more perfect time. He said, number one, he said, I remember why you had to sell your last Jeep, because I sold it back to the dealership, which was a blessing. I didn't I actually made a little money off of it when I sold it. So I was thankful for that. But he said, I remember why you had to sell it. And he said, I also heard about the church fire that happened last year. And he said, so we only got 3 2023 Jeep Gladiator Rubicons that are on the lot, and next week we'll get all of our 2024s. And he said, I want to do something special for you. So within 15 minutes later, this man brings back me a deal, $20,000 off the sticker price, and I walked out of there with a brand new Jeep. So the Lord's good to us, man. I'm so grateful, so thankful for his provision. He's always blessed us. 20 years ago, when I took this journey of faith with the Lord, I was 18 years old when I started really walking with the Lord. 20 years. Every time the Lord said, do this, we did. Every time the Lord would bring transition, we just jumped into it head first. Destiny and I have always been people of faith. Jump right in and trust Abba to take care of us. And that doesn't mean that all those times have been easy, but we've been obedient to make those transitions and to trust Abba with all the details. So anyways, the Lord's just been good. I could tell story after story of his provision in our lives and to our lives. And also the reality is, man, we walk in that type of blessing because we're also generous people, man. We love to bless other people. We love to give, whether it's to leaders that have made an impact in our lives, or to people that we're currently walking with, or even people that we serve. We love blessing people and taking care of people. And so the Lord's always returned that back to us, because the word says this. It says, never seen the righteous forsaken, nor their seed begging bread. It also says he gives bread to the eater, and he gives seed to the sower. So that tells me two things. If you want bread, you got to eat. That's the law of supply and demand. So God sees what you do, and he says, okay, you need to eat and trust that I'll bring more provision. And then secondly is seed to the sower. So if he finds a person that is generous, a person that is a sower, he'll keep giving you seed. And so we've walked that principle out now for 20 some years, and super thankful for the Lord's faithfulness. So there you go. We're caught up. Just wanted to say hello, give you a little update, tell you an awesome story of God's provision and all the exciting things that are happening, and look forward to getting back in the studio and doing some teaching and sharing with you some revelation that the Lord's showing to us. And hopefully you'll just check out more of what we're doing and connect with us. All right. God bless you guys. Thanks for coming to our channel. We'll catch you soon.